you've seen me make my breakfast, and you've seen me make that luscious yogurt that I have for breakfast. Now I'm going to show you the very unusual way that I make my granola. Well, this is one of the ways that I make my granola. I make this granola without an oven. Yes, you heard me right. This granola is not baked. It's fixed in a skillet on top of the stove. So now let's jump in and I'll show you how we do this. Okay, in this skillet, this is a 12-inch skillet, I have 4 tablespoons of oil. Any neutral flavored oil will do. Coconut oil, canola oil, vegetable oil, any neutral flavored oil will be just fine. Just don't use any strong flavored oil. Let that heat until it starts to shimmer just a little bit. And I'll take you over here and we'll make the goo. Now, I originally got this recipe from my Cook's Country magazine. And I thought, I've got to try that. Well, then I modified it to my liking. I modified their recipe to the way I like it. So, this is what I came up with, and it worked beautifully, and you've got to try it. Okay, so in this cup, we have a half a cup of pure maple syrup. Do not try to use pancake syrup for this. Only pure maple syrup will work for this. So, if you don't have a source to get good maple syrup at a good price, I'll leave a link in the description below to where we get ours. We get ours from the Maple Dude. Best maple syrup on the planet. So to this, I'm going to add a good hefty pinch of pink Himalayan salt. You can use any salt that you like. This is about a half a teaspoon around there. Now, then we'll add a good sprinkle of cinnamon. Now, if you like more cinnamon, put more cinnamon. If you don't like cinnamon, don't put it in. That's all up to you, boo-boo. Now we add 2 good splashes of vanilla, which is about 2 teaspoons of vanilla. And you give that a good stir. Give it a real good stir. Make sure your cinnamon isn't clumped or anything like that. Give it a real good stir. And now I'll show you what we do next, because the magic's about to happen in this skillet. Okay, in this bowl, we have 2/3 of a cup of roasted salted sunflower seed kernels. And we have 2/3 of a cup of sliced almonds. You can use any nuts or seeds you like. If you like pumpkin seeds, do pumpkin seeds. If you like pecans, do pecans. If you like walnuts, do walnuts. Whatever combination of nuts and seeds you like, do that. Okay, my oil is nice and hot now, and you can probably see it, it's shimmering. That's what you want. You want your oil to shimmer on medium heat. Turn it on medium heat, and then you add your nuts and seeds at that point. And you start moving them around, coating them with your oil. You want to get them nice and coated with your oil. What you're doing, you're toasting them in the oil. And it's going to bring out all the flavor, and I promise you, it's going to make it absolutely amazing. You want to keep doing this. You want to keep moving it around so that they don't burn. You want to keep moving it around and toasting them for 4 minutes. You're going to smell them toasting. You're going to start to smell a nice toastiness. When you smell that nice toastiness, you know they're ready. As you can see, I'm using a rubber spatula to do this. If you don't have a rubber spatula, you can use a wooden spoon, but a rubber spatula helps you scrape it down better. So I recommend that if you have one. If you don't have one, you'll be fine with just a wooden spoon. It's been 4 minutes and it starts to smell nice and toasty. If yours starts to smell nice and toasty before the 4 minutes, then you'll want to stop that then. So now we're adding 3 cups of old-fashioned rolled oats. And you're adding that so that you toast the oats as well, which gives them an amazing flavor. So you toss your oats in with your oil and nuts and seeds until you notice that all of the oats are completely coated with the oil. And once they're all completely coated with the oil, you want to set your timer for 6 minutes. And you want to keep stirring so that your oats don't burn. Because you don't want them to burn. You want them to toast nicely, but you don't want them to burn. Once again, just like with the nuts and seeds, when you start to smell that toasty oat smell, you know they're ready. So turn it off then. Well, don't turn the heat off, but get ready for your next step then. Okay, as you can see, the oats are all toasty. They're starting to brown just a little bit. And all the oil's gone, see? The oats have absorbed all of that oil. So now, this part is all up to you. It's all up to how you like your granola. If you like yours super crunchy, at this point, after you add the goo, you will let it go for 3 minutes. If you're like me and you like some crunchy bits and some chewy bits, because you like both textures, then let it go for about 1.5 minutes. If you like it completely chewy, just let it go for about 1 minute, just until till the oats and everything absorbs all of your maple syrup goo. So I do mine for 1.5 minutes. So now what we're gonna do, this goo that you made, see, this maple syrup goo, you're gonna pour it over. Hear that sizzle? And immediately you smell the most amazing maple syrup vanilla smell, and it is to die for. That smell, the cinnamon, the maple syrup, the vanilla, you can't beat it, people. Now you want to stir it really good at this point. Make sure all your maple syrup is coating your oats and your nuts and your seeds. You start your timer. Like I said, mine's for 1.5 minutes because I like that crunchy and chewy texture. And it will absorb all the maple syrup. And when it's done, when your timer goes off, you're gonna think, well, this isn't ready. I need to let it go longer. It's not crunchy yet. No, it won't be crunchy until it cools. And if you let it go any longer, it's going to get hard as a rock and you're gonna break a tooth out trying to eat it. And that's not a pleasurable experience. So be sure to scrape the bottom, because it will stick to the bottom, because that maple syrup, it will stick to the bottom. So be sure and scrape that bottom. Bring up everything, keep it moving, and this smells divine. We're very close to being there now. I've gotten to a point that I can pretty much tell by the look of it when it's ready. Okay, we are ready. Okay, as you can see, I've got a cookie sheet and I've got a piece of parchment paper over it. Now at this point, you want to work quickly. You want to get it out of the pan. Dump it on your cookie sheet, on your parchment lined cookie sheet. You want it to be parchment lined. It'll be hard cleanup if you don't. So you want to line it with parchment paper. You probably could line it with foil, but you may have to spray it. Parchment paper is naturally non-stick. Now you want to spread it out in a single layer across your cookie sheet. You want to spread it out. Make sure it's in a single layer. Make sure there's no holes in it or anything like that. Just make sure it's a single layer and press it down. That's what's going to give you the nice big clusters take your spatula and press it down. Run your spatula over it till it's smooth, because that's what will give you your clusters when it cools. Now, I know this smells insane, and I know you want to eat it now, but you will burn your mouth if you try it. So, and also it won't be set up into your beautiful clusters that you're looking for. So, you leave this to cool, and I'll show you what we do when it's cooled. It's completely cooled now. It didn't take it long, and as you can see, I can pick the whole thing up. Now you want to start breaking it into pieces. Break it into the size chunks that you like. If you like it like me and you still like it crunchy and chewy, then it's going to be a little sticky, but that's just fine. Now you want to break up the whole pan full. And you have to try some while you're doing it. You get the toastiness of the oats and the toastiness of the nuts and seeds. And then you get that beautiful maple flavor with the vanilla. That little hint of salt. And that little hint of cinnamon. It's just absolutely amazing, people. And with my yogurt, with my beautiful creamy yogurt and some fruit and a little bit of honey or maple syrup, it is an amazing breakfast that also does some serious healing on your gut health. Now it's all broke up into good chunks. Now to store this, you can store it in a mason jar at room temperature. You can store it in a container, airtight container at room temperature, or however you choose to store, however you like to store granola. Personally, I have found that it stores much longer, that you can keep it longer. You can usually keep it for about a week, although it doesn't last that long around here. You can usually keep it for about a week if you store it in the refrigerator. I usually just load mine into a gallon-sized Ziploc bag, put it in the refrigerator. And at that point, because I like mine crunchy and chewy, when you get it out to use it, it's gonna have stuck back together a little bit. All you do is take your fingers, push on it, and it'll break right back up into your beautiful chunks that you have here. Now at this point, when it's all broke up like this, you can add any add-ins that you want to add. You can add your dried fruit, cranberries, dried cranberries, raisins, dried cherries, any dried fruit you want at this point. You can add any dried fruit you want at this point. You can even add, if you like chocolate chips in your granola, you can even add chocolate chips at this point. But I would not recommend adding the chocolate chips or the dried fruit before you fix it in the pan, because it's just the chocolate chips are just going to melt and make a mess, and the dried fruit is just going to become a little hard and too chewy. You don't want that, so you want to add the dried fruit now. But most of the time I leave it just like it is, because I choose to eat it with fresh fruit. Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate all of you so much. We thank you to our loyal subscribers who watch us and leave those beautiful comments that keep us going and keep us encouraged. Thank you so much. And to our new subscribers, I hope you enjoy what you're seeing. Thank you so much for all the encouragement and all the love you give us. God bless, and have an absolutely blessed day.